Good morning, beautiful people. Welcome to the market color for today, the 30th of June 2025. This is the last day of the month, last day of this quarter, and last day of the first half of the year. It's been a wonderful ride with you all from the beginning of the year up till today, from January till now. We've been having a wonderful time together. Welcome you all to the market color for today once again. I'm CJ, and I'm going to be taking you through the first part of the market color, and afterwards we're going to also have some other person who, that is Lakon, who's going to take us on the second half of the market color. For the first part, we're going to be looking at the dollar index. We're going to look at GBP USD and Euro USD, and then for the second part, we're going to be looking at gold against the dollar, the yen basket, GBP JPY, Euro JPY, as well as USD JPY for today. Okay, so this is what we have to look out for today during our market color. Now, without further ado, we're going to be moving straight into the analysis for today, starting off with the dollar index. Now, if we look at the dollar index on the weekly time frame, we would see that the dollar index has just been following our prediction since the beginning of this quarter. We said we wanted to see the dollar index straight to the downside. We're expecting sales on the dollar index. Now, you can see that the dollar index has been selling all the way downwards. One of the places where we expect to see the dollar index sell to is 94.524. 94.524. That is where we're expecting to see it sell to. So we're anticipating that sell all the way to this level right here. Okay. So this is what we are anticipating on the weekly time frame. Now, on the daily time frame, we saw a large sweep of sales to the downside last week. In fact, throughout the whole week, we're just seeing sales and sales and sales to the downside. Yes, of course, there were some volume imbalances created along the way, like the ones we have here, here, and here. But then we're not seeing volume imbalance as the drivers of the market. So we're not expecting market to just trade up and retrace immediately, unless it gives us signs of retracement before we start looking forward to see the retracement. Now, one of the places we're expecting the dollar index to trade to as per the retracement we're expecting is somewhere around here. If it should start retracing, we're expecting to see it retrace all the way to 97927. But if it doesn't do that immediately, then we'll just continue going short on the dollar index. Now, how are we going to know when the retracement is starting? We'll be using the 4-hour time frame and the 1-hour time frame to guide us as per the timing of the retracement. So for the 1-hour time frame, you can see that it is currently consolidating around this range. Okay, you can see the range right here. It has been consolidating around here all this while. So we're expecting to see the dollar index trade and then move all the way above. All right, so sorry for that short blackout. I think we're back now. Now for the 1-hour time frame, you can see that it has been retracing, it has been ranging around this level. If we start seeing further break to the upside, then we'll be expecting to see it trade all the way to these levels right here. If it is a stronger retracement, then it will trade all the way to this breakout block around this region here. So that is what we're looking out for on the dollar index. Right now, it's a bit skeptical. We are very bearish. We are still bearish on the dollar index, but we are anticipating a retracement anytime from now. That is my perspective on the dollar index. So I'm going to take that statement again. We are expecting a retracement all the way here. However, we are still very bearish on the dollar index until price starts breaking the structure to the upside. Then we'll start looking forward to seeing further buys all the way to these levels that we have marked above. Okay, but until then, we'll just keep selling to the upside on the dollar index. All right, I hope this is clear. Now let's move over to Euro USD so that we'll see possible trades for today and then take advantage of them. First of all, I would like to clear my chart before doing so. All right, now having done that, we can now proceed. Now for Euro USD on the weekly time frame, we have been very bullish on Euro USD. In fact, last week we bought a whole lot of Euro USD, trading it to the upside. Now, one of the places I'm expecting to see Euro USD break is this next liquidity point right here. which was formed around August 2021, and then possibly the overall high of 2021. We might see Euro USD go ahead to take it out subsequently. Okay, so this was the high of 2021. All right, so that is where we are expecting Euro USD to get to. So if it should trade all the way above, then we'll know we're targeting either of these two levels. Okay, so back to what we're expecting to see this week. Now, for this week, we are expecting Euro USD to keep buying. However, if we start seeing signs of retracement on the dollar index, then we will now be looking forward to a retracement on Euro USD. As you can see, last week move, it made just a one-way trip to the upside without a proper retracement. So once the retracement starts, we're expecting it to be a little deep before the continuation back to the upside. Now, if you look at it on the 4-hour time frame, there are lots and lots of places where price would potentially return to. So we're going to be marking them out when price starts retracing. We don't want to mark them out now and create confusion on the chart. So we're going to leave it empty for now. Now, if you look at the 1-hour time frame, since this is the beginning of the week and then the last day of the first half of the year and last day of the quarter, last day of the month as well, we might see some tricky moves happening around Euro USD moving forward. So you can see what's happening on the dollar index is now catching up with Euro USD. So they may move together along the way moving forward, but we're not going to know that until it starts playing out in before our eyes. So before then, we're looking at Euro USD right now. It is consolidating. We're expecting a retracement. But before we take the retracement, I would want to see price break this level here. Okay, so even though we have a bullish bias, we're looking at buying Euro USD, we will not mind seeing a sell. Okay, because at this point, now here's something I would like to share with you guys. Now, price is at premium. So we're not going to go ahead and start looking for further buys at premium. So we want to see a retracement, a proper retracement, so that price can buy to the upside again. Now, let me show you some examples. If you see when price was somewhere around here, if you are rushing to enter this trade, then you wouldn't have made so much. But after this retracement, even though it was not decent enough, it was not strong enough, but at least a retracement happened, gave price the pull to move to the upside. Now, if you look at this next level right here, this is a premium zone. It's not good to buy around this level. So we would have waited to see price retrace. And after this decent retracement, it pulled back to the upside. So this is a similar thing to what we're expecting right here. I'm saying this because of those who are totally new. Because we said we're in a buy trend doesn't mean we're going to start buying immediately. We're going to time the buy, prime it properly, and then wait for it to get to our point of interest before we execute the buy trade. So seeing that Euro USD is on the buy trend, and we have a bullish bias on it, we're going to wait for it to give a proper retracement before jumping into the trade. Now, talking about proper retracements, we are expecting to see Euro USD break 1.16874. So if it breaks that level, then we'll start looking for sells on Euro USD. And the places we're expecting the sales to get to, we're looking at somewhere around 16129. We're also looking at somewhere around 1.15. So either 1.16 or 1.15, those 2 points of interest around here would engineer a buy for Euro USD. So until it breaks here, I'll just be sitting out and be watching, because from my experience over a couple of years trading the market, this is a very sensitive period in the market. When we get to the first half of the year, or when we get to the end of a quarter, banks are balancing their books, international companies are balancing their trades, and so on. So we would usually see price not moving with so much liquidity and volatility as we expect in usual time. So we'll start seeing consolidation. You should also go and backtest these things that I'm saying so that you'll see. Check out what happened in the middle of the year last year, in the middle of the year before, and then in the middle of the year on 2022, and see how these things are happening. They're happening every year. Okay, so whenever we're getting to the first half of the year, we'll start seeing price consolidating, then to now choose a specific direction. Okay, so at this point, I'll just sit on my hands and wait for Euro USD. Once it has broken this level, then I'll know it is ready for a retracement. Then I'll start selling it to the downside. Okay, that is for Euro USD. Now, similar to Euro USD, we also have GBP USD, which we're looking at today. Now, for GBP USD, it has already started showing me the signs of the retracement we're looking out for on Euro USD. So let's check it out. On the weekly time frame, sorry, it has already cleared the highs that we're looking at, and it has shown us a clear buy trend. Now we're looking forward to a retracement to continue buying. Now for the daily time frame, you can see that there's been some rejections. So GBP USD might be selling all the way here. Before we measure the retracement, we'd like to see a change of structure on the hourly time frame, 1 hour time frame to be specific, and then 4 hour time frame. Now, if you look at the 1 hour time frame of GBP USD, you can see that price has broken this level right here. Okay, so you can see that there was a clear break of this level right here. So with this, I can tell you that GBP USD is ripe for the retracement we're expecting on Euro USD. Okay, now at this point, this is where we will now draw a Fibonacci retracement too. We don't draw the Fib retracement until we are sure of a retracement. When we are sure that a retracement is happening, that is when we'll draw it out. So let me mark out some places where I'm expecting price to get to so that you can watch out for it alongside with me. All right, so these are the two places I'm looking out for. First is this order block somewhere around 38.2. Second is this breakout block somewhere around 61.8. So in between these two places, I'm expecting price to get to either of the two and then give a retracement back to the upside. Okay, and then you can see this huge fair value gap of the 50% level somewhere here. Just between here and here. So let me mark it out as well. So we'll look at it together. Okay, so these are the points of interest that I have as regards GBP USD. So currently, I'm looking to sell GBP USD to the downside. So let's look out for trades that we'll be expecting to see play out today. Now, on the 1 hour time frame, you can see this huge candle has formed, showing you that GBP USD is resuming its sell trend. Now, let's look out for the 15 minutes time frame and see where we could possibly sell GBP USD from. Now, looking at the 15 minutes time frame, it's not so clear, but then at this point, what I would want to do is to look out for entry patterns on GBP USD. It has taken out the high of the Asian session. Right now, we're taking out the low of the Asian session. We're expecting it to just keep dropping afterwards. So right now, what I'm doing is that on my 15 minutes time frame and on my 5 minutes time frame, I'm looking out for entry patterns. So I want to see something like this. I want to see something like an engulfing pattern forming on the charts. I would have loved to draw it, but then we're limited with some time. All right, so let me just do a quick sketch. So assuming this is a buy candle. So let me just show you something quickly. So assuming this is a buy candle. Now I want to see a strong sell candle, just like what is forming on the 5 minutes time frame right away. I want to see a strong sell candle like this. So what I'll do is at this point here, I'll take my entry. The stop loss is going to be above here or somewhere around 20 pips. And then my take profit will be like 3 times what my stop loss is. So 1:3. So I'm looking out for 60 pips from that trade. Okay. So this is what I'm looking out for. So for GBP USD right now, a pattern is forming right before our eyes. So what we're going to do is to wait for it. After the 5 minutes candle has closed, we can take our entry, put our stop loss at around 20 pips, and then run it to the downside. So in like 30 seconds from now, the candle is going to close, and when it closes, we're going to have something like this. So we're going to do 15 pips of our stop loss, and then for take profit, we're going to be looking at 45 pips. Okay, so this is what I'm looking out for on GBP USD. I want to see a strip of Thursday's low. So this low here is going to be my take profit. So this is what I'm chasing on GBP USD, and I'm taking the trade right away. So let's wait for GBP USD candlestick to close. Once it closes, we'll be taking that trade immediately. So this is what we want to see on GBP USD. All right. So if anyone has anything to add to what we said, or you want to ask a question, especially, please make sure you do so that we can write it together. So you can see GBP USD has closed with an engulfing candle. So right now, we can take the trade, sell GBP USD right now at 1.37082. 1.37082. Stop loss is right above here, and then take profit is at the low of Thursday. So you can take that right now, and then let's see how we would be able to ride this GBP trade all the way to the downside. Okay, so I'm going to share it with the group later on, but since you're here on the live market color, one of the advantages of joining the live market color is that when we're giving trade signals like this, you'll be able to take them live. And then those who do not join would now see it later on and be complaining and asking why we did not share it with them. We're sharing it here live with you so that you can ask questions. We'll show you what we're using to enter and how we are coming to our conclusion. For GBP USD, you can see how I did my top-down analysis all the way from the daily time, weekly time frame, daily, 4 hours, 1 hour, 15 minutes, and all the way to my entry on 5 minutes. I broke down everything to make sure that everyone understands it. So if you have any question, feel free to ask your questions. And if you don't have any, let's enjoy this trade. And I hope you have taken your GBP USD sell. Make sure you apply proper risk management. Now, here is something that we've observed over time. Whenever we call trades like this, some people think that we are eyes of the gods. So they'll just load the trades with all the money they have in their account. And then if it doesn't go well, they'll not have enough shots to take another entry. I remember a couple of weeks ago, we wanted to, I think, buy or sell gold. I can't remember now. But we took the first entry. It didn't go well. Then it got to the second entry. We took the second entry and it went well. So if you had risked everything you had on the first entry, you wouldn't have had another money to trade on the second entry, which went in our direction. So make sure you're applying proper risk management so that even if price stops us out, we'll look for another level to re-enter the trade. Okay, so for GBP USD sell, it has triggered our sell positions. We should be taking the trades and then applying proper risk management to this trade. We'll be giving you an update on this trade as we continue in the remaining parts of today. We're going to go on a very short break. And when we return, we're going to be analyzing gold against the dollar. And then we'll be looking at the yen pairs like GBP JPY, Euro JPY, and then USD JPY. So don't go anywhere, just stay where you are. In like 30 seconds time, we're going to switch to gold and then continue our analysis for today. Okay? See you in 30 seconds.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Morning. Welcome back to the Market Call brought to you by the Value Flow Trading Team. And that was a very great insight and a great analysis from CJ. So this morning we'll be going straight into the analysis of the precious metal. And from there we'll be heading straight directly to Japan to see what is going on the yen basket and the other yen correlated pair. All right, so let's sit back to enjoy what we have this morning. All right, starting with the precious metal, if you look at it from the weekly time frame particularly, we are still very much bearish on the weekly time frame. But we know that the higher time frame controls the lower time frame. However, lower time frame makes up the higher time frame. So let's go to the lower time frame to see what exactly is building up on the lower time frame. before we begin to see the effect on the higher time frame. All right, so since the weekly conclusion is we are bullish, then let's go to the daily time frame to see what is going on there. If you look at the daily time frame too, we are very much bullish, just that we are now in a consolidation and price has been ranging for a while now since the 25th of April. We've been in a range since that period, and now we are expecting that price should come a little bit, take out liquidity right from the daily time frame, and then we should continue our bullish move all the way up if it's going to buy, or if it's not, then we should see proper market structure shift for us to begin to sell the precious metals. But for this week, let's go deeper into the lower time frame, particularly 4 hours, to see what exactly we are doing and for us to know the right decision to make moving forward. Now on the 4-hour time frame, if you look at it right from the 4-hour, we are going to observe that we've actually moved out of the range to the downside a bit, just the way we are seeing here. Yes, we've seen more like a boss pattern already. This is a shoulder, we've seen the sweep, and we've seen the break to the downside. However, we've already seen how that price took out liquidity here and even attempt to take this also out. So we are expecting more of a bullish move to the upside all the way to come and take out all this liquidity we have here and price tapping proper into what we have at this 4-hour order block. All right, so this is going to be the levels we are expecting the precious metal to rally. First a rally, then a short for the precious metal for this week. All right, and if you're on our mailing list, you'll have gotten that analysis. So this is what we are expecting to see on the precious metal, knowing fully well that we have our shoulder here at this point too, and a reference point, which is this for our order block. Now, with a confluence also on that 4-hour order block, you are going to agree with me that this is more like a flip zone here. So it's telling us we have 3 cases built for our sell if price get to this particular point. But currently, we should look for buy opportunity to, further more to get to this point. Then you can easily sell the precious metal. But knowing fully well that the buy takes the highest strong bias this morning, because the long we are seeing here is a bit wide compared to the short. And knowing fully well that if price, buy all the way to this point in the course of the week and we begin to see sell opportunity, then we are not going to sell more than the trend line that we are seeing on the precious metal. All right. So right now, let's quickly look at the lower time frame more, particularly right from the 1-hour time frame to see what is going on. Now, if you look at the 1-hour time frame, remember our bias is we want to buy to sell. So let's look at opportunity for us to see where price is going to retrace into for us to take the buy position. Now we've seen more like a shoulder being formed already. This is our shoulder, we've seen the sweep, and right now we've seen the break and also a market structure shift. However, during the Asian session, we already see also another block inside of the Asian session. Now that is telling us a very great story that when price pull back to that region, we should look for opportunity to buy back up. But we are looking first to sell before the buy. Now let's go to 15-minute time frame to refine the whole of that region well. All right. So on the 15-minute time frame, what we are seeing is that price is most likely to come and take out the Asian low first, then before we continue the buy. Knowing fully well our buyers on the dollar index this morning as analyzed by CJ. All right, so we are expecting more of a sell of the precious metal first, a pullback to this level to take out liquidity at this point. I think we should draw that, and knowing fully well that we have our fair value gap inside of that zone, we also have liquidity around the zone. This is the low. Asian low is our liquidity point, all right, for the sell of precious, for the buy of precious metal for today. We have Asian low as our liquidity point, and at the same time, we have our shoulder just at this particular level here. So we already have this marked out. Now, 2 things happen. We expect that price is going to trade into the shoulder level or take out this liquidity point. And at the same time, we have a lot of confluences here, which means what we should look out for is when price gets to this particular 15-minute order block with a confluence of fair value gap, with liquidity sweep here, and also our shoulder, then we should look for opportunity to buy, which is a bullish engulfing pattern for us to buy the precious metal back up. Meaning, just the way CJ analyzed earlier on, a sell candle consumed by a buy candle. When we see any of that pattern around this region on our 15-minute time frame particularly, or some people may want to go deeper to go and look for it on 5-minute time frame, but is much more with confidence when you see it on the 15-minute time frame. All right, so this is it, what we are expecting to see today. We want to buy the precious metal. We are looking for an opportunity to buy to sell, call it buy to sell. All right, so our stop loss will just be below this sweep of liquidity here, and we are buying all the way up. All right, you are going to see our POI on the 4-hour time frame, how that this is where we are expecting price to still come into. We are expecting price to come and take out liquidity around this area. So when price gets here, then we look for the same thing we see to take the buy. We look for the same thing to sell or into this trend line, knowing fully well that when price gets to this trend line, two things happen. Is either it bounces back to the upside or it breaks to the downside. So that is our outlook for today and also into the rest of the week for the precious metal. I believe that makes some sense. All right, so let's quickly go quickly into the yen basket. Let's get to Japan to see what's going on the yen basket. Now, for the yen basket, if you look at the analysis from the weekly time frame, you are going to see even on the weekly time frame, we are in a consolidation. Price is currently ranging. But if you look at it from the daily time frame, it's giving us a very, different bias. It's also a consolidation. If you look at it since last year, July, imagine price ranging for almost a year now. We've been in a range for the yen basket. So I'm of the opinion that this month, tomorrow is going to be new month. So from tomorrow, we are going to see more massive buy on the yen basket because we expect it to rally. This is the time of the year also last year that we see this massive buy happen. We are going to observe it here. This is it. From the 10th of July 2024, we see the massive buy of the yen basket. So after that massive buy, the market went straight into a consolidation phase, and we are expecting a new expansion this week into next week for the yen basket. But before that expansion, there are two things may happen because we already see double bottom form there. We may likely see a sweep of this liquidity on the yen basket and price properly tapping into all these other blocks that we have on the daily time frame before the expansion. And remember, when the expansion begins, where are we, buying it all the way into? It's coming all the way into this weekly order block with a conference of a fair value gap. You can see just the way you is being displayed on your screen right now. This is where we are expecting it to trade into. So if that is our expectation for the yen basket, what should we now look out for on the yen correlated pair? Starting with GBP JPY. As we all know that GBP JPY is more like a flip of whatsoever we see on the yen basket. So I'm of the opinion that we are going to see more of a sell of GBP JPY moving forward. And remember the bias of GBP USD based on our analysis this morning. So we still expect to see more sales of GBP JPY. However, I'm looking at something happening on GBP JPY moving forward towards the end of this week. Yes, high tendency, we see a massive push to the upside for price to fulfill this structure here, which is the shoulder and also this fair value gap, price coming all the way into this zone that we have marked out here. So if price trades by any means, retrace all the way to take out this liquidity around this level and here, then you begin to short GBP JPY all the way to come and take out the sell side liquidity. And where are we going to sell it all the way into? We are going to sell it all the way into this zone for GBP JPY because of this pattern that we are also seeing here, just the way we saw it on the yen basket. Now let's go into the daily analysis of GBP JPY to see where exactly are we heading to today, this trade on GBP JPY. Now, if you look at JPY, we are currently more like this last swing, we are more in an uptrend. However, we are expecting price to retrace a little bit more into the trend line, then we can now follow through to the upside to go and clear the liquidity that we have on the weekly time frame. But if you check it on the 4-hour time frame, we are going to see something very interesting there. We have a flip zone somewhere around here where we expect that price should come and tap into it, and also this 4-hour order block. So we expect to see more sales of GBP/JPY. For GBP/JPY, we want to see sell to buy, while for the yen basket, we want to see buy to sell a bit. All right, so that is for GBP/JPY, sell to buy is our bias. So let's go to the lower time frame to look out for our specific entry position. Now for GBP/JPY, the specific entry position that I am seeing right now is that our price there's high tendency for price to still pull a little bit back into this fair value gap that we have inside of this Asian session. Now, if price trade into this fair value gap, two things, either we see price react at this flip zone here. You see our entry signature at this flip zone, which we are going to go to 15 minutes now to go and confirm what is the price reaction at this zone. A flip zone or price coming into this fair value gap and the 1-hour order block. All right, so if you mark your 1-hour order block, let's have that marked out so that we can have a good insight on our 15-minute time frame. So on the 15-minute time frame, great, you are going to observe we have order block. Also great, this is another block on the 15-minute time frame, which two things would happen. Is either when price retraces back here, comes to be a breaker, and we see our entry signature just the way we have this here. We want to see the sell, but right now we are seeing that the sell of the momentum for the sell on GBP/JPY is a bit high, so there is high tendency price will just pull back all the way to this level and start selling, and not to this particular zone again because of the price action we have here. And as a matter of fact, you already see an entry signature here. This particular moment during the course of this analysis is also an entry where if you start to short all the way from this place, that's another point. But if you want to wait, if by any means price would come back into this zone, then you look for your bearish engulfing here for us to short, and your stop loss here just above this liquidity point. Then we short all the way to the downside. So that is that for GBP/JPY. Lastly, let's quickly take a look at AUD/JPY as we call it a day. For AUD/JPY, right from the weekly time frame, we are going to observe that we have similar price action too on AUD/JPY. However, AUD/JPY is telling us more of what we should see on GBP/JPY, because GBP/JPY is really aligning with the yen basket. But for AUD/JPY, it's selling all the way to the downside. We are seeing sell structures building right from the weekly time frame. So we expect the continuation of the sell on the AUD/JPY. So if you look at it from the 4-hour perspective, we've seen consolidation for a while, or almost about 2 weeks now. The price has been in a consolidation phase, of which we expect it to break down more to the downside. So we're also expecting more of a sell opportunity on AUD/JPY. However, I'm seeing that two things may happen. Price may still come a little bit more because we have some POI here on the 4-hour time frame, which is this shoulder and this fair value gap. But we've seen how that price starts into this shoulder, and we expect it to start selling. Instead, it was consolidating. So this week, two things. We may likely see price come back all the way into this fair value gap, and we look for opportunity to start shorting down AUD/JPY, as the next few months is going to be a yen rally. We are expecting yen rally in the next few months. And if that is going to happen, then AUD/JPY is going to tank massively. So let's go to the now trend to see on lower time frame if we have any entry signature for AUD/JPY. So from the 15-minute time frame, all I'm seeing is that price is just pulling a little bit back more for AUD/JPY sell. But two things moving forward in the course of the week, if by any means we see any rally of AUD JPY, then we know that all things being equal, it should not pass this particular level here that we have here. Price should not take more than this liquidity point. Then we should look for opportunity to start shorting, knowing fully well that our overall buyer AUD JPY still remains a sell. So we want to follow through the sell all the way to the downside. All right, so that is that. If there's any question, let me quickly take some so that before we call it a day. Some said, good morning, which group do you drop signals? We do that on our market color group. If you're on the market color group, you definitely will see when we send our markup there. All right. Teller said, please, which mailing list are you talking about, sir? If you subscribe to, we do send out our market outlook, what we are expecting in the course of the week for the dollar, for the yen, and also for the precious metal gold, particularly. Every Sunday evening, 6 p.m., you get the news report. But if you are on this, if you're on the market color group, you definitely are going to get it too, because everyone there will send it to your email that you use in subscribing to mailing list. All right. But if you did not, you can just go to www.marketcolor@vfg, marketcolor@vfg. Then you are going to register there. It will direct you and add your email to our mailing list to get it there. But since if you are on the market color group, on the Telegram group, don't worry, you definitely should be getting our email. All right. So that is that. USD JPY. Okay, let's just brush through USD JPY. For USD JPY, let's start from the higher time frame, looking from the weekly time frame particularly. Now, on the weekly time frame of USD JPY, we've also seen the bit in a consolidation compared to the other pair like GBP JPY, AUD JPY. However, we still expect two things. USD JPY for the next few months, we may see it remain in this phase, this consolidation phase, because if we are seeing strength in yen, unless if the dollar is weak, if the dollar remains weak, then we are going to see more sales on USD JPY. All right, but on the daily time frame, what are we seeing? Since we are seeing more sales on USD JPY on the daily time frame, then we're still going to sell further because of the strength we are expecting on the yen basket. So let's go to the now trend of USD JPY, particularly the 1 hour time frame. So if you look at the 1 hour time frame of USD JPY, I'm still expecting USD JPY to sell the more, particularly into this shoulder level that we have. You can see this is a typical bust pattern. This is the shoulder, the sweep, the break, and inside the break, before the break rather, we have the liquidity point here that price is most likely to take out this particular level here, somewhere here, and price coming to tap properly into this order block. So for AUD, for USD JPY, I'm expecting to see a buy when price sells. We are expecting more sales to the downside before this buy resumes. Here's the buy. We are expecting to see a buy of USD JPY from this point, and our SL just below here. Then we are going to buy all the way to take out this point, this level here. So it's going to be 1:4.5. All right. So that is that for USD JPY. However, if you look at the now trend, the current trade opportunity on USD JPY, I'm going to advise you should look for more of that sell, because price is still definitely going to go down into that point we mark. And if that is it, I'm seeing that price coming into this fair value gap, just the way we have it on AUD JPY. There's a tendency price pushing a little bit into this fair value gap, and we'll start selling USD JPY. All right. So that is that for the analysis this morning. If there's further question, you can easily type. Some said, please, I can't send message in the Telegram group. Yeah, two things. If you can't send message in the Telegram group, maybe you want to stop the Telegram group, or you can reach out to us on WhatsApp. We are going to resolve that. Just reach out to us on WhatsApp or send us a DM, even on Telegram. We are going to address that. All right, use that. All right, please. Okay, so this is going to be the end of the market color brought to you by the Value Flow Trading team. Monday this morning. Till we meet again for the New York recap by 2 p.m. Make sure you are there. That's when we are going to see much more because today is Monday, just the beginning of the week. All right, till 2 p.m. this afternoon for the New York recap. I'm Lekon sharing. Cheers and God bless.